Hi everyone, my name is Bethany and this is my channel, Bethany's Thoughts. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I'm actually participating in a collaboration with Tamika over at Library of Tomes. Check out her channel, I'll link her in the description. What we're talking about is authors that we want to meet. Tamika predominantly reads a lot of romance, and she also reads some romance that I don't. She actually has a paranormal romance recommendation video that she just posted the other day, which I am definitely interested in seeing what's out there and what's available in that. She also hosts the Taboo Book Club with Jen from the Book Refuge, which I think is really, really awesome and a lot of fun that they get into romance taboo, which is kind of things that are a little bit more topic sensitive. They're doing their captive romance for this month. So yeah, so she does some really cool things and I would recommend checking out her channel, definitely. What we are discussing today is the authors we want to meet. So I'm doing a top 10, she's doing a top 10. We don't know who each other's top 10 is, which makes it all the more fun. I've met quite a few authors in my day. It's between comic conventions in San Diego and in LA. And I've also went to Y'all West, which is the YA book convention that's in Santa Monica. Y'all Fest is on the East Coast. Y'all West is on the West Coast. I was super excited when they created Y'all West. Was that 2 years ago already? I think I went in 2018. Obviously, this year was changed to virtual for COVID, and I think it always takes place in May around my birthday. So 2 years ago, it was my birthday treat to myself to go to Y'all Book West. So I've seen my share of authors, but there are several that I want to meet, and then I also have a few on my list that I want to re-meet that I've met already, but I would love to meet them again for different reasons. So these are really no in particular order. There's not really a ranking here. So they're just all ones that I'd like to meet. One of the authors I want to meet is Maggie Stiefvater. So Maggie writes mostly YA. She wrote the Raven Cycle Quartet. She wrote the Shiver, I think it's Shiver trilogy. It is werewolves. She does a beautiful job writing that trilogy, actually. That's what really got me into her books. I think she's actually just really, her writing is really, really beautiful. But she's also really funny. Her Twitter and her sense of humor is a little bit dark. She just seems like a really interesting character, I guess. I actually had a chance to see her. I saw her. I went to a convention that I was at. There was a panel of several authors. She was one of them. Actually, Brandon Sanderson was another one. And so she was on the panel. And so I got to see a little bit of her personality, and she seems really fun. And the discussion that some of the authors, it was her, Brandon Sanderson, and I want to say two others. I can't remember who they were. I thought it was a really engaging panel and was really interesting. I think Lanny Taylor actually was the other one. Yeah, I definitely think Lanny Taylor was one of them. I didn't get a chance to meet her because they were doing a signing after their panel. Well, I had another panel lined up that I had to go to. It was my husband's. So I had to go to my husband's panel. Couldn't miss my husband's panel, but I missed my opportunity to have Maggie sign things. So she's like definitely one that like I feel like, oh, I missed my opportunity to have her sign things. And then another one that I have on my list is Rick Riordan. Rick Riordan does the Percy Jackson series, and he's super popular. So his last book tour where he came into this area, into my area, like Southern California, he was in LA, and he did like a school auditorium. So I don't think he was personally meeting anyone. I think that he's just so popular that you don't necessarily get like a meet and greet. But I would love to meet him so much because he's Uncle Rick and he's so funny and adorable. And yes, so I would love to meet him. I actually do. This is a great purchase at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble, they actually had a signed copy. So that was really exciting. And it's actually signed. It's not even a book plate. So that's really exciting. I actually got a signed book. That was really exciting. Got this, picked it up at Barnes & Noble. And like the book stuff was like, yeah, I'm surprised that those are still here. And I'm like, I know. But I'd also just really, really like to meet him because he's Uncle Rick. And it'd be lovely. And then a couple of these authors, I've only been really recently reading the last like year or two, but I want to meet them now. So one of them being Alyssa Cole, who is a Black romance writer. She actually just came out with a thriller too, so she's branching out and doing other things. But predominantly, I know her from her Reluctant Royal series, and she also She's also the Loyal League. I think it's called the Loyal League series. I'll link it down below. It's it's a Civil War series, and I've read a book from that series. That series is great, and her Reluctant Royal series is absolutely one of my favorites. I would just really love to meet her. Her Twitter also seems really fun and lovely. Yeah, and she also kind of was like my gateway into diverse romances. And I read her, and now I've read all the diverse authors and everyone. And so, yeah, I really want to thank her for that, and I really appreciate that. The next one I want to meet is Talia Hibbert, who I've been reading a ton of things for, and I don't know how often she's comes to the US. I mean, during non-COVID times. But I would love to meet her. She seems so delightful. She's in the UK. She's a Black romance author, and her characters are just so good. Yeah, I love her characters, and I would love the chance to meet her. And she started writing when she was really young. Like, her first book was like independently published at 19. So I think she's really, really cool and seems really, really fun, and definitely want to check out and meet her. Next one on my list is Katie McAllister. I have one of her books up here. This particular series I haven't read yet. But what I loved her for was her dragon series. Her first dragon series was the Green Dragons, and I think her second series was the Silver Dragons. And then it was the Light Dragons, I think. But her dragon series is my favorite. She's really, really funny. She hardly ever travels. She does do sign books, sometimes like giveaways where she'll sign things and mail things out. But I just really would like to meet her. And she lives in the Pacific Northwest, and she does a couple of like visits around her area, but like I said, she tours really, really rarely. But I really, really like to meet her. She's definitely one that's been on my list for a while. And the next one is Penny Reid. Penny Reid does the series that I really started to know her for was the Knitting in the City series. Really, really love that series. That series is a lot of fun. She just has really quirky romances that are very different, a little bit offbeat, but also her characters are really funny and different. A few months ago, before the quarantine in March, I want to say like January or like early fall. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was a few months before quarantine like shut everything down. She was actually in Southern California. She's in LA. She did a signing at the Rip Bodice, and it didn't go, which now I'm kicking myself that I didn't go. It was like on a Tuesday. People think San Diego and LA are like a lot closer than they actually are, but it was actually like a good like 3 or 4 hour drive. And on a weekday when I work full time, I don't know, I'm too old to do that anymore. I used to be able to do that in my 20s, not so much in my 30s. So I didn't go. I definitely want to like at some point try again, like go and meet her. Definitely kind of kicking myself that I didn't go the first time, but that's okay. It'll happen again, hopefully. So yeah, so definitely a kind of like another missed opportunity on that one. So these 4 are actually ones that I want to re-meet for reasons. 2 of them being just 2 of my favorite authors, and I want to meet them again, either because it's been a while or because I love them. And the other 2 being I've met them, but I actually hadn't read any of their books yet. So I want to re-meet them since I have read them now, and want to like actually fangirl. Top of that list of re-meeting is Meg Cabot. Did I have any of her books? I mean, I have this one. This is not my favorite book, though. She does the Princess Diaries series. Princess Diaries series was like a huge influence on me growing up. So this is her adult book, No Judgments, that came out last year. I've met her twice. I met her the first time when I was 18. I happened to be in Southern California when I lived in North California. And I happened to meet her on a trip to Southern California. Dragged my boyfriend at the time there with me. The other time I met her was with my bestie when I was 20, and it was in San Francisco when I was living up in the Bay Area when I was in school. So I met her twice since then. I'm now 34, so it's been a decade since I met her, and I want to meet her again. Because I love her so much, I'd love to meet her again. She She lives in Florida. She does not come to the West Coast very often. It's so funny. Now that I live in Southern California, she used to come to Southern California a lot more often. And now that I've been living in Southern California for the last 9 years, she goes to Northern California. So I I don't know why. So I haven't met her, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that opportunity will happen again because she's still one of my favorites of all time. The next one I want to re-meet is Tamora Pierce. I feel silly saying that because I literally just met her at Y'all West like 2 years ago. But I've seen her twice. I've saw her at a book signing when I was 20, again, in the Bay Area in Northern California, and I would love to, and I met her at Y'all West. She is so delightful. Tamora Pierce, she writes really female-centric young adult fantasy, which I love. She is so kind and gracious and sweet, and I love her. I tend to be really rambly and bookish and awkward and fangirly when I meet my authors, to the point where I've had some bad interactions with authors because I just get really silly. But she is so kind and so delightful and so sweet. I've met her when I was at the beginning of the line. She's very gracious and sweet. I met her when I was at the end of the line last time, and she was still so gracious and sweet. Didn't express any impatience, didn't express any angst or anger or upset, which some authors do get a little bit tired at the end of the line, which I totally understand, but she was still just as kind and gracious as ever. And I love her, and I would love to meet her again. The other two that I want to re-meet is Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren, they're an author duo. So I met them at San Diego Comic-Con. They were giving out their free book for Beautiful Bastard. It was before, they had hit it big. They were just starting, they were kind of in the middle of their Beautiful series. But it was really before they got like super big. And they were just hanging out, and like no one was there lining up. They were just hanging out. They were handing out their books. I got it signed, and I was like, okay, cool. You guys seem nice, and here's this free book. I'm going to take this book, and thank you. And then I read them, and then now I love them, and I'm obsessed with them. And I have not met them again. Definitely goals is to re-meet Christina Lauren. Another missed opportunity, they were also at San Diego Comic-Con. They came back last year, and unfortunately, I missed their signing. I was super bummed about missing them last year. They go to San Diego Comic-Con a lot. I think they live, or at least one of them lives in this area, I think. Hopefully, goals is to eventually meet them again and have that opportunity. Last, but certainly not least on my list is going to be Victoria Schwab. I actually have one of her books here too. This is what got water damage. So Victoria Schwab, this is her Monsters of Verity series. This is the young adult series. This is the second book. She also writes adult fantasy. First of all, Monsters of Verity, great series. Or it's a duology, I should say. I read, I think, Our Savage Song. And then I bought this and met her at convention. The exact words she said to me when she signed this and gave this book to me was, "I'm so sorry." So if that tells you anything, I just would love to really re-meet her, and now, especially now that I've finished Our Dark Duet, and tell her that, yes, you should be sorry. But it was still so good, and then I still really loved it. And I don't know, just give her an update. I don't know why she cares about what I have to say about her book, but I want to give her an update. And I've read a couple more things from her since then, so I feel like I would love to re-meet her, and she is really kind and really fun and delightful as well. That's my list. So go check out Tamika's list as well. Check out her channel. I'll link those down below. Go subscribe to Tamika at Library of Tomes and check out her stuff because she's great. If you like what you saw from me, go ahead and subscribe to me if you'd like to see what other future things that I have in store and planned. Let me know in the comments what authors you would like to meet. If there's anybody from my list that you'd like to meet, or anyone from Tamika's list you'd like to meet, or anyone of your own that you would like to meet. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!